As a professional trader, there's certain things that help me prepare for the week. So I have a checklist of those things and I want to break down what that checklist is with you guys, all right? So before we get started, my name is Haley Spaceway. I've been trading now for 6+ years. I run a trading community called the Wall Street Snipers, where it is jam-packed with education that helps you print money in the market the legal way, all right? So let's get to it, guys. 'Cause I know we're gonna fight the way that I know that the love is gone. First thing is first, the economic calendar. What is on the economic calendar? What is going on? So for those of you guys that don't know what the economic calendar is, that is important events that is happening in the market for the week. All right, so there's usually a breakdown from Monday through Friday. Do we have consumer credit? Do we have FOMC? Is Jerome Powell speaking this week? PPI, initial job claims, GDP, consumer confidence, home sales. All this stuff is important events that happen in the market that play an impact on how the market is going to fluctuate, all right? So for an example, if we have FOMC and there is talks of interest rates hiking, more than likely the market is gonna go down. If there's talks about putting a pause on interest rates, more than likely the market is gonna go up. So all this stuff is events that happen within the market that play a major role when you're trading. So me as a trader, I do not enter any trades prior to anyone speaking or prior to any information coming out, because when information comes out, the levels that you have as when you chart, it doesn't really matter. For the most part, these levels break and they don't care about any of your support and resistance that you have, key levels or none of that, all right? So this information that comes out is important to know because it plays a major role of the fluctuation of the market, all right? So number one, economic calendar, that is key. What is happening for the week? Number two, earnings. Who has earnings this week? Like I told you guys before, my pool of stocks that I trade is very, very small. I usually don't go over 12 stocks that I have that I keep on rotation. So I always look out for the same stocks, all right? My go-to stocks are Tesla, Netflix, Nvidia, SPY, AMD, and just to name a few. But those are the stocks that I always watch and I always keep on rotation. So for me, it's important for me to know, like, when do those stocks have earnings? Usually during earnings week, like we're in July right now, this is tech month. Those contracts are usually a lot higher this week, okay? So last week we had Tesla. This week we have Microsoft and Meta that I trade. And those contracts are a lot higher than usual. Why? Because it's earnings weeks for them. So it's important to know that who has earnings this week. And for those of you guys that don't know what earnings is, that's when companies like Tesla, Microsoft, Apple, they report how their quarter went. How was first quarter? How was their second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter? So right now, this is the second quarter. So they're going to report how well did they do during their second quarter. Number three, news. I always check the news. I don't trade based off the news, but I do like to see, is there any information that's coming out within these stocks that I want to know about? Did something happen overnight or after the market closed? I usually don't look at stocks once the market closed. I kind of just close my computer and I'm done for the day. So that's why usually in the morning, I always check like what happened. Did anything happen overnight or did anything happen after the market closed? Most of the time I get my information from Twitter. Twitter is pretty accurate and it's pretty like Twitter's news usually comes out way before it hits like the mainstream news. So that's why I always go to Twitter to kind of get my information on stocks. I also like Benzinga and I like MarketWatch as well. But for the most part, I usually get my news from Twitter. Number four, now I start getting to the juicy part, all right? Now we start charting. First things first, I always chart NQ, which is the NASDAQ, and then I chart ES. So those two are always key for me because that dictates pretty much how the rest of the market does. So I like to find my levels on NQ and I like to find my levels on ES. Try to find my support, my resistance, see if we have any patterns forming, a couple key levels, and then that is it, all right? After I chart the NASDAQ and after I chart ES, then I begin to chart my stocks that I trade. I go through my whole checklist in the morning and see what is going on. Start off with Tesla, Netflix, Nvidia, AMD, Boeing, Google, Amazon, Adobe, so on and so forth. That's just to name a few, all right? I start to chart those. I start to find my levels. I try to see if we have any volume kicking in on those stocks. I try to find A+ setups for the day to see which stock do I see is gonna be the most profitable for the day. Which one do I see that's gonna have the biggest move for the day for me? Now, the last thing that I do is I go through my journal and I write out my playbook. So in my playbook, I have what is my strategy that I'm taking? What is my approach in the market in the morning, right? So what am I trading? What levels do I like? What are gonna be my entries? What are gonna be my exits? And how much risk am I willing to put on this trade? Now, after I'm done with that, I decide to enter the market once the market opens, follow through on my strategy. When I'm done trading, go in my journal and I write out how was my execution. Did I execute this play well? Did I follow my game plan? How much profits did we make or how much did we lose? And that, my friends, is how I prepare for the week, all right? So now, most of the stuff that I mentioned, usually takes place on Sunday, but throughout the week as well, I also chart certain stocks because levels break. So you have to rechart, new patterns form. Do we have any gaps going on this week? And was there new news that came out on certain stocks? So you always have to stay up to date with what it is that you're trading. And that is how I approach the market every day in and day out. Now, if you guys like this video, if you guys felt like you guys got some value from this video, go ahead and hit the like button. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. And if there's anything that you guys want to know or any videos that you guys want me to put out on, make sure you guys put it down in a comment. I will be happy to make a video for you guys of whatever it is that you guys want to watch, all right? With that being said, man, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I will check you guys on the next video. Peace.